Did you know your brain is more powerful than the most advanced supercomputers of today? It's a 3-pound organ with the ability to control everything you do, from your thoughts to your heartbeats, and it's far more complex than anything we've ever discovered. Your brain is a masterpiece of complexity and power. It weighs just about 3 pounds, but it controls everything, from your thoughts and emotions to every movement and heartbeat. In fact, your brain has 100,000 miles of blood vessels, enough to wrap around the Earth 4 times. And despite its small size, it's often called the most complex thing we have ever discovered in the whole universe. Welcome to the Nautical depths. And let's take a closer look at 10 amazing facts that show how mind-blowing the human brain really is. 1. Incredible processing power. Did you know that your brain can hold the equivalent of 2.5 million gigabytes of data? To put that into perspective, that's about 9,766 iPhone 7s worth of memory. While computers may excel at certain tasks, like complex calculations, the human brain outshines them in other areas, especially memory and learning. For example, the memory of London's taxi drivers is famously remarkable. Studies have shown that the more information we store, the more our brain has the ability to expand its storage. 2. Size doesn't equal intelligence. When it comes to intelligence, brain size alone doesn't tell the full story. For example, the brain of a sperm whale is more than 5 times heavier than a human brain, yet humans are considered more intelligent. Instead of size, the brain-to-body ratio is a better indicator of intelligence, though humans don't hold the top spot here either. The true secret to human intelligence lies in the neurons and folds of the brain. Humans have more neurons per unit of volume than most other animals, and the only way to fit all these neurons in is by creating folds. Humans also stand out for having the largest frontal lobes, the part of the brain responsible for planning, logic, self-control, and abstract thinking, which are essential for human-like reasoning. 3. The brain's plasticity. One of the most remarkable features of the brain is neuroplasticity, its ability to change and adapt. This property allows us to learn new skills, form memories, and adjust to our surroundings. Neuroplasticity happens in several ways. For example, synapses, the connections between brain cells, can become stronger or weaker, like turning the volume up or down on a conversation. New synapses can also form, or old ones can fade away depending on what we learn or experience. This ability to adapt is crucial for personal growth. It's why we can learn new languages, pick up hobbies, or recover from brain injuries. It shows us that the brain is not fixed. It's always capable of change and improvement, no matter our age. 4. Neurons, the brain's communication highway. Your brain contains about 100 billion neurons, and each neuron can connect to thousands of others, creating an incredible communication network. These connections allow you to think, feel, and act. Neurons send signals to each other at speeds of up to 250 miles per hour, hats faster than a car on the highway. This lightning-fast communication is what helps your brain process information so quickly and efficiently, enabling you to react in the blink of an eye. The complex network of neurons is what makes everything from breathing to solving problems possible. 5. The brain's ability to multitask. While it may feel like we're doing multiple things at once, our brains aren't truly multitasking. Instead, we are context switching, meaning we quickly shift attention between tasks. The brain rapidly moves from one task to another, which may seem like multitasking, but is actually less efficient. Research shows that when we try to multitask, our error rate increases by 50%, and it takes us twice as long to complete tasks. The brain is great at quickly shifting focus because it has a flexible attention system that can switch gears rapidly. However, this constant switching can slow us down and make us less accurate. So while the brain can handle more than one thing at a time, it's better to focus on one task fully for better results. 6. Memory, your brain's incredible storage system. The human brain is an incredible storage system capable of holding around 2.5 petabytes of information. That's equivalent to about 3 million hours of television. Our brain stores memories in different systems, short-term and long-term. Short-term memory helps us hold on to information for a few seconds to a few minutes, like remembering a phone number long enough to dial it. Long-term memory, on the other hand, stores information for much longer periods, from hours to a lifetime. When we form new memories, our brain creates new connections between neurons. This process is strengthened through repetition and emotional significance, making the memory easier to recall later. 7. Left brain versus right brain. The truth behind the myths. The human brain is made up of two halves, known as the left and right hemispheres, which are connected by a bundle of nerve fibers called the corpus callosum. These halves are almost identical, but there are some differences in their functions. The left hemisphere controls the muscles on the right side of the body, and the right hemisphere controls the left side. One side of the brain might be more dominant, like how some people are left-handed or right-handed. The idea that the left brain is logical and the right brain is creative is a popular belief, but research shows this isn't entirely true. Both sides of the brain work together for most tasks. The left side is mainly responsible for language, math, and facts, while the right side is more involved in things like visual skills, creativity, and spatial awareness. But remember, both sides of the brain are always working together. 8. Male brain versus female brains, different but equal. Studies have revealed some differences between the brains of men and women. For example, men's brains are about 10% larger than women's. However, this size difference doesn't affect intelligence, as both genders perform equally in cognitive abilities. One interesting finding is that women tend to be more sensitive to pain than men, and their brains process pain differently. When it comes to brain structure, women have more grey matter, which is involved in processing information, but they tend to use less of it compared to men. On the other hand, women use more white matter, which helps transmit signals between different brain regions. Additionally, the male brain seems to handle social decision-making and stress differently than the female brain. For example, men might respond to stress by becoming more focused on a task, while women may tend to seek emotional support or engage in social coping strategies. 9. Why feelings often overpower logic. Emotions play a huge role in shaping our thoughts and actions, and the brain has a specific area called the amygdala that processes these emotions. The amygdala helps us react quickly to things that make us feel fear, joy, anger, or other strong emotions. However, this emotional reaction can sometimes overpower the logical part of our brain, which is the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for making rational decisions, thinking carefully, and controlling impulses. But when emotions are intense, like when we're angry or scared, the amygdala can take over, leading us to make decisions based on feelings rather than logic. This is why, in certain situations, we might act impulsively or make choices we later regret. 10. When does the brain stop growing? The central nervous system consists of the brain and spinal cord. The spinal cord is made up of nerve tissue and support cells, and it helps send messages from the brain to the rest of the body. Interestingly, the spinal cord stops growing by the time a child reaches about 4 years old. However, while the brain stops physically growing during the teenage years, it doesn't fully mature until a person is in their mid to late 20s. This is because the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning, decision-making, and controlling impulses, is one of the last areas to fully develop. This delay in development can explain why teenagers often make risky decisions without fully considering the consequences. They may act impulsively because their brains haven't fully developed the ability to think through actions and evaluate long-term risks. As we grow older, particularly in our 20s and 30s, our brains become more stable. While some traits, like openness to new experiences, may decrease with age, others, like emotional stability and conscientiousness, tend to improve. This is why adults are usually better at managing their emotions and making thoughtful decisions. So, embrace the journey of learning and evolving, because no matter your age, your brain has the power to keep growing. To watch more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the Nautical Depths.